We have a big affiliate program and things of that nature, and we're growing that largely. But the way that we grew our product is all through asking people organically, do you know anyone else that would like our product? And through that process, you know, 80% of the time people are just like,
Welcome back to Agency Masters. I'm Robb, and this podcast is where I share the strategies, systems, and insights I've gained from selling my own agency and helping over 20,000 digital agencies grow and do the same. My hope is that the content here is valuable to you along your journey and that you share, review, and enjoy. Hey folks, Robb here, and I've got a very special guest today, Mr. Robin Alex, co-founder of HighLevel. What's up, Robin?
what's going on? Thank you for having me.
Of course. Thank you for being here, man. Super want to take a moment to thank you for prioritizing this in your busy schedule. I know you're managing how many employees over at HighLevel now? It's like 600
Yeah,
plus.
around 750-ish people. It's insane. It's crazy.
That is crazy, dude. Okay, cool. So 750 employees. How many paying users are you guys up to now?
Yeah, we manage around 50,000 users, direct customers, different levels and things of that nature, which represents about 600,000 plus small businesses around the world.
Oh my gosh, so good.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So the reason why I like to ask that is because HighLevel just had its 5th anniversary, and I was lucky enough to sort of help you guys launch out of beta at one of my workshops that I was doing in San Diego at the time. And so literally from its infancy, I think Joe Rare, I was just at an event with Joe Rare, and he was like paying customer number 1 for HighLevel. And so he was kind of telling me that kind of cool story about your support team, sort of going like, oh, you're Joe. Like everyone knows Joe because he was the first person on a spreadsheet long ago.
Yep.
So
Yeah, no one was supposed to tell him that because now he's gonna always hold over.
yeah,
Just kidding.
especially Joe. Yeah, that's funny. I could totally see Joe just bragging about that forever too. He's a great guy though. But yeah,
Oh
that's
yeah, 100%.
but like, look how far we've come, right? This is an amazing story. You used to be an agency owner yourself, and you just saw this need in the market, partner with 2 brilliant other co-founders, and just, man, slingshotted to the moon. 5 years later, you guys are just giant now, right? That's so cool.
It's definitely scary. And I think the crazy part about it is we didn't imagine it was going to be, this big, what it means or anything like that. We're just in the trenches literally every day, jumping in between, talking to customers, helping customers every single day. And, I do believe that the word of mouth and the way that we've operated our business is what helped us get here with,
Yeah.
with our customers. And, I was telling a story to someone yesterday of last year's event. People would come up to us and they're crying, they're bawling, saying how we changed their life and provided impact. And I'm always stuck in this weird paradox of like, I want to savor the moment and enjoy it with that person. But at the same time, there's a fire over here. Right.
Yeah.
Like, so it's really hard to be in the moment of like, wow, we did something big, but nope, we got 50 other things that we got to deal with. I got to go run over it. I mean, this is amazing, but somebody else is having a problem. And we typically jump on the landmines and try to solve the problems. And that's sort of the culture that we have here. So it's amazing, but it's hard to let it sink in. We just haven't had that moment. So we're just constantly running and just trying to keep pushing forward.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, it's good to take a moment just doing something as simple as this, like just laying it down and saying it publicly. And I think that if I may, that's why people love your company and your culture and your whole team so much, is because you actually care, and you care enough to stop and go, hey, I'm going to put my needs, my personal needs, my ego to the side for a moment and go put out the fires that need helping or that need putting out, because these people need help, right? That actually solves a problem in the marketplace versus, I'm not here to throw stones at any other software companies, but you hear these stories being like on the consumer or customer side. I pay for a lot of different software. I'm in a lot of different communities there. And it's like, they're just still trying to sell the same lipstick on the same pig. And it's like, well, like, when are you going to do something about this? Like, it's affecting
Yeah.
my business, right? And there's just so many more examples of that out there than companies like yours. I mean, you guys are really rare, like unicorn status, I think, to be at this level with that level of care and to be as accessible as co-founders is just absolutely amazing, man. Really.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely understand how we're different, but it wasn't necessarily like a conscious decision. It was just, what's the alternative? If we aren't doing that, aren't we not going to lose customers? Aren't people going to be angry with us? So of course we'd be other. And so that's kind of the oddity about it. I feel like other software companies, or just in general, right? Even at our size, there's a perception that once you get to a certain size, you're supposed to sit in your ivory tower. You're supposed to not talk to customers. You're supposed to be hiding. You're supposed to be at this
Yeah.
other era, aura of in front of your customers and only seen on stage and stuff like that, which I get the perceptional side, and you feel like, I guess that's your point, that you made it. But for, Sean, Varun, and me, it's like, I don't get it. Like,
Yeah.
if somebody's house is on fire, of course I'm going to go try and help. Why wouldn't you try to help? Right.
Yeah.
Like that's just kind of our mentality. Like, we don't know what the alternative is. So we don't want to know what the alternative is. We're happy with what we're doing every day. So we're just going to keep doing it.
Yeah, dude, I love it. So, just to sort of like, just add a little color to that. Um, I think that the reason why that's happened is because two reasons is my thesis on this. Out of all of the people that I knew, who started companies like this, and I've known a handful by now. I'm like 44 years old, been doing this for 13 years. Like, it's, we're dinosaurs by now, bro. Like, it's,
I
we're the
agree. I
old
agree.
guys
Yeah.
in the corner, like telling war stories, right? Um,
Yep.
but it's, two reasons. You guys have been there. You ran an agency helping local businesses, and now that's the product that you sell, is to help solve that problem. And I think a big reason, man, the reason that, you guys are sort of like my heroes in this space, in the SaaS space, is because you did not take funding. You bootstrapped it. You went out there and hit the pavement with your little tribe. You gathered a tribe, went out there, hit the pavement. And if people didn't want it, you weren't allowed to sit in your ivory tower. Like, if people didn't know about it, then there was no way that the products, you guys flew in to like all these event, our little workshops. There's 16 people in the room. Granted, the product's so awesome, you sold the whole room out and people at home. But, like, if someone got funding, like, let's just call it like a few $1,000,000 to get things off the ground. The first thing they do is they hire, it's the Silicon Valley model. They hire a sales team of call centers out in Utah, usually is the way they do it.
Mm-hmm.
Throw a bunch of money at it to get out of the dip, and then all of a sudden, like, you're at break even. Congratulations. It took you 3 years to get to break even. No one even knows who the founders are. No one really wants the product. It was just phone sales, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that the way that you guys did that from a grassroots level, and really just said, hey, what do you guys need to make this a no-brainer? Or we're just going to make it a no-brainer for you at each step of the way. That was genius, man. Like, I didn't believe that would work, and you guys knocked it out of the park. I mean, again, I was like, there's no way. I just haven't seen anybody do it this way.
Yeah.
I want it to work. It's like,
But I think kind of the philosophy there that people try to go by is, what does, this blog say, or this book says you have to do it this way, or I saw a speaker say how they did it their way, therefore I must execute at that XYZ. And I think we just took the approach of, if I was in the shoes needing help, or I need to sell somebody, this is the only way I know how to do it. I don't need to hear about other people. This is the only comfortable way that we need to go. And we just kept double downing, from that, and just let it compound on its own. And I think that is the difference of, starting a company and trying to bootstrap it, which is also interesting, right? Most agency owners in our space bootstrap, right? Like, you're using your own money and you're trying to figure out how to make ends meet and stuff like that. And so we didn't have the comfortability of being backed by someone in the early days. And we just did what we did in the agency. Just every dollar that comes in, you're putting it back into the business, and you're just trying to get enough momentum, building that flywheel that at some point, someday, either someone would notice, or there's enough profits to finally make it sustainable. And so just having that same mindset as our customers, I think is one of our X factors, because we just know it, understand it, and not trying to be the ones that we're trying to predict the future and trying to navigate people to that world. It's, no, this is your problem today. We're here right with you with a solution to solve your problem now.
yeah. And I think you guys release new features, like, it feels like weekly. It's crazy how fast you guys turn out solutions. It's just unbelievable. In fact, there's kind of a running joke in the high level community that, and I wish someone would make a shirt, but when Sean always drops Loom videos and he's very quickly just running through the feature and he's super excited. He goes, "Hey, Sean, coming at you." And the Loom AI transcribes it and it makes it this like Frankenstein word. And it's so funny when people comment that on the post. So like, I, I think it's a Sean Kamencha or something like that is what the AI Loom always says.
Yep.
Uh, but that just goes to show you how it's like you guys don't have time to sit around and even like make the announcements fancy. It's just like, nope, we're on to the next thing. Bye. Here it is.
Yeah.
Good
I mean,
job, team.
it's wild. Like the way that we've structured our dev team now is every single aspect of high level has effectively a CEO, and that's what our product managers are. And they're the ones that's listening to the community. They're looking at the ideas board. They're reaching out to customers, trying to get feedback on what they could do to improve. Because we believe in the skateboard model. We'll roll something out very simple, and the idea is 80% of usage comes from 20% of features. And with a product manager who's leading that, they're instantly trying to get feedback so that what is the next enhancement? What is the next enhancement that I can get my team to do? And
Yeah.
when you get 25 product managers all competing, Chandra and I don't even know what's happening anymore. Like literally, we have a Slack channel called, release notes, and then they're dropping all these releases. And usually in the morning, Sean and Drew and I are like, oh, these are the kind of the cool products that's coming out. Ooh, that's a good one that we can do a video on. And
Yep.
so then Sean does his coming at you video, but usually he's learning it in that moment. Like 5 minutes before he does that video, he's navigating, trying to make sure that he understands it and knows it. But it's grown to such a level that we don't even know what's coming out, and our team is pushing so aggressively, and they want their product, their feature to excel. It's not only it's a race to get to parity with what other products are doing out there, because we know agency owners use other tools today. Trying to
Mm-hmm.
make sure that we have the right tool stack there, and once they're at parity, it's the race to how can I make it infinitely better than anybody else that's out there? So it's fun to watch, even from a competitive advantage internally.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I'm sure it's super exciting. Yeah. So you guys have done a fantastic job hiring as well. We met a lot of your team. I know you had your first, what would you call it? Like global retreat,
Yeah,
in
so we did
Japan.
2 retreats. So last year we did a retreat just for our east side, so everyone on the other side of the world, and we did that in Bali. And then this year we did an east and west retreat. So to the west, we took half our team here on the state side, and Mexico, Canada, and stuff like that. We took them to the west coast, had a fun trip there, and got to really meet. I mean, being a virtual company, everyone is remote. While we do have a headquarters in Dallas, we no one really comes in, like we throw meetings and
Yeah.
events here in Dallas, but normal day to day, we're just all talking to each other on Zoom. So it's really fun to meet people. But we've grown to such a size where Sean is walking down the hall and I'm walking down another area, and Varun walks in and people come up to each one of us independently like, hey, what's your name? Like, I've never met you before. You must be new here. And we're like, yeah, we're new too, right? Like, we don't
Yeah.
burst our bubble. And then, so we did that event, got to meet a ton of new people. And then we went to the other side of the world and we took everyone to Japan. Um, and had an incredible time there. Really got to collaborate and meet a lot of our new team members. And, a lot of it was also rallying the troops because as soon as that trip ended, it's now the mad rush to summit and end of year. So,
Yep.
we have a lot of stuff that's in play and trying to get new features and new enhancements out. So if we get that FaceTime, we're now trying to negotiate with the product managers of like, look, we need this feature. We need you to do this, get ready on
Yep.
support side, get ready for this so that we can be ready for the second half of the year.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. So we'll talk about the Level Up Summit coming up in October here in a little bit. But I wanted to ask you before that, if that's okay. So what kind of things do you have that you're really excited about on the horizon? Because you guys are clearly product first. In fact, I don't think that you guys have much of a marketing or sales team, if at all. Like, are all of your affiliates still basically the way that you
Yeah.
procure? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, it's mostly our sales. It's funny. We have a big affiliate program and things of that nature, and we're growing that largely. But the way that we grew our product is all through asking people organically, do you know anyone else that would like our product? And through that process, you know, 80% of the time people are just like, you guys have provided me so much value. I'm just going to tell people about it just naturally.
Yeah.
And then some
Yeah.
people have asked like, well, on top of that, can I also, do you have an affiliate program? Because other companies have it. So we launched it. But even today, the affiliate program actually just brings about, 15 to 20% of our total new customer revenue. It's
Wow.
80% organic and word of mouth, which is really awesome.
Yeah.
But, and we try to do marketing, but we're really bad at it. It's if you look at our website, it's still the same website from 3 years ago. The best we got are these solid color t-shirts, and the one that you have is
Totally.
kind of our newest iteration, and we love giving
Yeah.
out swag. So that's our marketing.
Yeah. And Kelsey just sent me this cool sign, which I don't have my good camera on, but you can see the neon sign, high level sign she got. I haven't figured out how to mount it yet, so I got to figure that out
Yeah.
sometime
But
soon.
yeah, I mean,
But
if we were a
I
good marketing team, we would have sent you instructions on all that. But we
no, no,
forget
no.
that
Yeah.
stuff.
Well, it's not about that. That's trust me, I'm a caveman. I have challenges with things.
Stick a
But
hammer through the wall; it'll work.
totally, yeah. Well, let's hammer out a hole right there, and then we'll
Yeah.
figure out how to mount it later. Um, but it's really impressive because you're so product focused that, like, by the time we get done shooting this video, it'll basically be irrelevant. But still, it's exciting to talk about. So, like, what are some of the, like, for me, some of the features that you guys have released? I like never thought. Um, I never thought people would want a way to use it or have a way, like have a need in that area. An example is tap to pay. And like, I just don't think about stuff like that, but it's so cool that you guys, created that sort of feature to start using. But for me, things like, I'm huge on lead nurturing. And, just a quick side note, when I was in your beta 5+ years ago, I had a $44,000 a month Scipio bill. So we would basically, as an agency, we would have our clients sign up for Scipio at their own Scipio account, pay Scipio directly. We're making like a little bit of affiliate money, but not much. And we would use that as a lead nurturing tool and a reactivation tool to do a customer list reactivation. I call it database reactivation. And you guys replaced our $44,000 a month Scipio bill for $300 in your beta, right? This is why people love HighLevel, by the way. And it's not just about saving a little bit of money. You get a ton of leverage on top of that. Like, never mind the money part, but that's also a whole thing. If that was my white label SaaS, when I sold that agency, I would have made several more $1,000,000, right? So, but never mind that.
Yeah.
Trying to be a little funny here, but it's just like mind blowing that is not the only benefit, or that's not even the biggest benefit. Because what it really did for us was unlock unlimited capacity for near unlimited capacity for lead nurturing and reactivation campaigns, which is always our bread and butter, right? So now you're about to release conversational AI, and I think that will unlock true like unlimited scale for things like lead nurturing, reactivation campaigns, website chat widget, conversations, possibly customer service. There's a bunch of use cases for it. So can you talk a little bit about conversational AI? Because that's the thing that I'm personally most excited about from a use case standpoint.
Yeah.
That
I
would be
mean,
awesome. Yeah.
I think it's one of those hidden use cases in the sense of like, sure, it's conversational AI. You're going to be able to leverage it anywhere that there's communication within HighLevel or on the front facing, whether it's through WhatsApp, Messenger, SMS, if it's on a chat widget or whatever. Instead of you trying to ping your customer to like, hey, you need to jump into the app. We did some automations for you, but now it's teed up for you to get it to the finish line. Now you're going to be able to train an AI bot to be able to get it to close. And that close could be booking an appointment or doing a sale or whatever. And it'll get smarter. And we're trying to make it super easy to where literally you could put a Google Doc or a URL and it'll scan it. And that's part of the training. Right.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
what's awesome about it is, our community has a lot of very creative builders and people who are just creative in general. They're going to take that concept, and I'm just excited to see what they're going to do with it. Because,
Yeah.
at its core, it's meant to do what you just said, right? Just
Mm-hmm.
lead nurturing and just getting people to do the basic sale from a marketing side of it. But, good as well as I am, it's you're going to find someone who's like, oh yeah, we actually use it to doing an analysis for NASA who is trying to send a spaceship to the moon and it's bringing it back and then just
Yes.
letting command command center say, yes, press the red button. Like you'll hear random stories like, what?
Yeah,
That is, yeah,
totally.
you're going to hear some crazy stories that way with that tool.
Yeah. There was a guy that Sean told me about, your co-founder, Sean, who somehow figured out how to use HighLevel for logistics, like
Yeah.
a bunch of Amazon truck vans or something like that. I was like, that's genius. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
all these cool applications that are like outside the box. And simultaneously, there's people who like wrote you off, meaning HighLevel, wrote you off because they looked at the website. They're like, I don't get it. And they keep hearing how great it is and like, oh, can just do everything. And then they're like, oh, yeah, I'm just going to. And then now all those people are on board going like, oh, now I'm doing like way more amazing shit. This is the best thing I've ever seen. Right. And
Yep.
so, it's just a testament to how like being product focused first and being consumer centric in a good way. Not, I mean, there are certainly companies that use that in a bad way, right? But you guys use it for good. You just keep rolling that into more value and more momentum. And so like it's like, again, like never mind the amazing scale that you unlocked just with a handful of features. And you could have stopped there and just poured all your money into marketing and sales, right? So five plus years ago, you did that, right? But now it's to the point to where like people running their business are like, if I didn't look at another feature all year, and I woke up one day and looked at everything that you guys added, I would have like 12 new income streams from all the features that you guys released. Like it's
Yeah.
crazy, dude. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
It's, I always say it, we could easily stop at any point, but there's no fun in
Yeah.
that. Right.
No.
And that's basically saying like we just give up and, we love solving problems and we listen to our customers. And that's really why we build. Because we know that if we can help you make another dollar in your pocket as an agency owner, you're actually receiving that dollar because you're actually providing value to your end customers and they're providing value in their communities. So
Yeah.
from that perspective, we constantly just want to help where we can. And, so that's honestly why we build the way that we do and why we build the features and how we select it as well.
That's awesome, man. And I should add, this is another smart thing you guys did. You guys are putting the power in the agency owner's hands or the white labeler's hands, and making it available to charge for things that their clients are going to use anyways, like text messages, emails, now, AI. Um, and you can mark that up and basically make a margin on being a reseller. So let's say you are just like a low to no service, uh, you know, provider, or you want to have a component of like my favorite is software with a service or SWAS is kind of what we coined it. But at the bare minimum for longevity, for churn buster, for keeping good relationship with clients, becoming the utility bill is something that we're seeing more and more of. Meaning, if the client is paying for text messages, emails, conversational AI, anyways, they may as well be paying me
Yep.
to get that right because the advantage is that they're not paying MailChimp. Can you get someone on the phone for MailChimp? No, you really can't, right? With
Yeah.
a lot of tech companies, it's like you're just stuck. So once you're in bed with them, you're kind of stuck. Like people with Active Campaign, they get pissed, They're like, my contact limit, just breached this thing, but I'm not even using it, like all this stuff. So, the cool thing is now you can become that flexible, reachable provider and become sort of like the utility bill to these, mostly local businesses, but other types of businesses too now, right?
Yeah.
And when you become the utility bill, it's like they're paying you for something that's of utility, that's extremely useful, and it's very painful to go back and shut that thing off. It's like going from having electricity to being like, yeah, we're off the grid with no solar panels, or we had running water an hour ago and now we don't, right? Like we had heat and air conditioning, now we don't. I mean, that's
For having
painful to
me.
go back to the Stone Ages all of a sudden, right? And you're putting that benefit into their pocket, not yours, which is super
Yeah.
smart.
Yeah, and it's always funny when you get into the pricing of the utility aspect because we work extremely hard with the vendors and stuff like that to get, volume discounts and pricing that we can translate back to the agency so that they can mark it up. But it's never enough, right? The agency is always
Yes.
like, well, no, I can go to these other companies. And they forget it's not only the utility, but it's the application on top of it. And that value together is what you should be able to resell. And I think there's this weird fallacy that agency owners struggle with and not understand is that their consumer, their customer, if you're selling value and you're selling a solution, they're not price shopping at a feature
No.
level.
Mm.
And if they are, it is hard to win when you have a customer like that.
Yeah.
Right?
Like
Like you're not
how do you
matching
win?
up to them. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Because
It's
there's
just
always going to be someone cheaper.
mhm.
There's always going to be someone cheaper. You're never going to win.
Thank you, Robin. Dude, always such a good time seeing you.
Thank you for having me.
Cool, bro. All right, man. Well, thank you, Robin. Appreciate it. We'll see you next time, and go get it, man.